Hey, welcome back to the Build It Basement. I'm Kerm, and today is video 2 on a two-part of the RatRig VCore 4 500mm IDEX printer. A lot of words. Printer build, or frame build, I should say. This is actually video 2 out of 2. So there was a video before that went over how to set up the parts to get them ready so we can assemble this whole thing. But this is the actual assembly video with some huge parts, trying to put this thing together on my little bench. Which is actually a normal sized bench. I mean, heck, it's about 8 feet long and I don't know, 2.5 feet wide or so, but stands no chance against this printer. The build is a 500mm build plate, but the actual frame here is much larger. It's actually more along the size of a small refrigerator, or I don't know what. It's huge. It makes my normal sized bench look puny, and it makes me struggle throughout the hour of video of me assembling it. So I did cut down quite a bit of stuff, but without any further ado, let's jump into it because it's a long video. Check it out. So here we are back at this. We've got all of our quick connector slots into everything we're supposed to have in. And then preparing the remaining extrusions, which are the ones that we have not put anything in. Pull my hammer aside here. I'll look at that in a second. All right, so let's see here what it says. And then our printed part, which we talked about already here, which is this guy right here. This printed part. And we're gonna start assembly. Did a little repositioning here just to get everything back to where I need it, because I need a lot of space to build this printer. It's crazy how big this thing actually is. So back here at the manual, and we're looking at the next phase, which is actually starting to build a portion of the frame. So we're going to need our, and again, we're adding 200mm to these parts as we need them. So when we measure them, our parts are going to be 200mm more than what they're saying in the manual, which I don't have a problem with because that's how most manuals do it. But anyways, we're going to need two basically 750mm, two more 750mm, and then we're also going to need our 540 with our 3060, which is, let's see here, this big honking guy right here. It's pretty massive. It's definitely something you don't see every day unless you work with this stuff. But I'll tell you what, this probably weighs like 3 pounds and is like the frame of a car. Just probably overstating it, but still, it's pretty massive. And yeah, so let's get on with this. Let's start putting this together. So we're gonna start off with a special piece, because this piece right here has 3 holes in it, and the 3 holes are very, very much noted in the manual that we need to have those 3 holes. So give you an up close picture of that one right there. So 3 holes in this, or they're right here, and those are called out. So we're gonna make sure we look at that. And we also need this guy right here with the holes in the middle, look like for some M5s or M8s, something big. And then this guy right here, which is just a plain Jane large with no added connectors on it. So it's no connectors on that one, no connectors on this one with the 3 holes in it. And then I think this is like the first one that we ever did with the holes here. We want to look at a little bit better view of these. And again, today this is going to be loud. Sorry about it. Building a frame is going to be loud. Nothing I knew about it. It is what it is. All right, so yeah. So they want to make sure this side's up on this, and extrusion installed, shown marking front 3 M4 holes, top side facing side extrusions. Okay. And what they want to do is make sure that this one, where is it? The one with the holes. These are basically these holes right here are going to be up high, up there. The camera's like 5 feet above me, but this is almost hitting it. It's scary. And let's see, these are going to be like this. And this other one doesn't matter. There's nothing going on with that one. And then they're going to be the other one that we have here. So it's going to be something like this. All right, so holes that way. So we're gonna flip this guy over so these are facing me. and we're going to be facing this one. So these holes are also facing me, I believe, but we'll confirm that in a moment here. Looks that way, based on the drawing I see here. So basically we have those guys facing that way and those facing that way, so they're all facing the same way. Make sure counter bores for the M4 showed, yes. Be careful not to scratch the aluminum extrusions when assembling them. Okay, we'll do our best. So I'm just going to lightly attach these two. I'm not going to tighten that too much, just a little tweak. Put that on, connected there, and then the other one is going to go down here. That even lightly done up. Those things stick pretty. This thing's huge printer. It's like I'm on a poster. All right, so we're gonna lay this guy down flat if I can figure out enough room to do it. I'm so glad I'm not sitting kitty corner to build this the way I used to have things set up before times. However, I'm going to loosen up this one because I don't want messing with the other side. Okay. And then this one, we're going to loosen up anyways. Sometimes you got to find your thread locker. So hopefully this is a nice little transition between this and that. But okay, so thread lockers, I'm using the blue. I think red would be too much. You got purples and all that other stuff. Blue is what I go to most of the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this set screw out. And I'm gonna apply a drop or two of the blue onto the screw. Quick. So I'm kind of making a little sandwich here. Keep everything right where we want it. And with any luck at all, this should be pretty good. So that looks good. That looks tight. I think that might be good there. All right, so set this aside just for a little bit. All right, we've gone ahead and done away with the tile because there's not enough room for the tile, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Set screw there, engineering square here, spare piece here, and some schmutz on a screw. Like that. Kind of sort of get that in there a little bit. And then we'll do the squeeze it all together thing. After we get this kind of started. As soon as it starts to pull, there we go. All right, so we're gonna pull it this way, pull it that way, kind of squeeze it. And once we got it squeezed, making words as we go here, we'll super squeezed. All right. I think we're pretty good. I think we're good. All right. What we get? Super rigid. Super duper rigid. I mean, that's at a full, what, 1, 2, about 3 foot extension there, and I can barely jiggle it with adequate or, you know, decent amount of play there. So that's cool. That's super cool. All right. Again, poster frame time, right? All right. So what are we looking at? We're looking at the rest of this, which means we have to find ourselves another 30-30, 440 millimeters. So we're looking at 640 millimeters. So 640 millimeters, 640, 640, 640, 640, 640, 640. That's a 640 right there. It looks like they're putting it in like, well, that would make sense now, wouldn't it? So, screws facing out this way. Align quick connecting with the bottom extrusion slot. Insert quick connector T-nut pin into the bottom slot. T-slot force. All right, so this is gonna go over here somewheres. Somewhere's about there, I guess, for now. So, like that. And then we're going to need our 475. So 475, 675, 675, 675. So that's gonna be like that is where that's gonna wind up, yeah? Okay. So 675, so that one's gonna go up like that. And I need to get way over there to do this. So I'm gonna stand up. Look, I'm in 3D now, huh? Things I go through. All right, so this is kind of odd how they're showing. Okay, so this is going like this. So screws facing up. And somehow they want you to be careful not to scratch anything while you're sliding metal against metal. It's a good joke. All right, we're slide mark extrusion downwards, making sure a quick connector T-pin on the 44 extrusion fits inside extrusion slot, yes. Carefully rotate the mark extrusion 90 degrees so the quick set screw faces outwards as shown, okay. Okay. There we go, maybe. Come on. I don't want to force you. Loosen it some more, I guess. There we go. All right, I guess we gotta keep it really loose. And then they want us to use our special tool. I love how they keep noting not to scratch the frame. Yeah. Thanks for the tip. Anyways, carefully rotate, look at the extrusion, make sure both upper and lower, yes. Not scratch, yes. Jig, install jig at assembly. So they want the jig to go on like so. Okay. So we'll try to do this in ways people can see it. So we got our jig, this guy right here, which matches the photo right there. And we're doing it right here. Okay, so put the jig on there. And then I guess we're sliding this over. Mark gap should be 20 millimeters. Oh, I get it. So this screw fits in that, screw fits in there. And 20 millimeters is what we're looking at. So get our ruler out. 20 millimeters, and I concur. Even though it's kind of hard to do with a ruler, same thing there. Okay, so let's tighten this up. Let's pull, no, that one's tight already. We're gonna loosen up this one. And we're gonna put some thread locker on it. Just a dab will do ya. All right, and I don't really have a good method other than kind of just doing this, and I think it should tighten it into where it should go here. Actually, this one's doing what they say. It's not tightening. So that means that it's not in enough. Wait a second. It's spun. Okay. So in the midst of all that happening, this spun. So I'm going to, it's my best way of doing this. I guess I'm going to leave this out. I don't know how I'm going to push it back in after though. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. Like that. Nope, not too much. Enough so that it doesn't come out but won't spin. Okay, that should do it. And then I'm going to put this back in. We'll push this out a little bit. And let's see if we can get this one in too. What is this one doing? All right. It's not playing nice with me, I can tell you that. Let's take that one out a little bit too. We'll assume for a moment that that one's okay. And push this one in as well. And then that twisty twist again. And hopefully everything stayed where it was supposed to. Put this back up here. Slide it back over. And tighten it up. It feels like it's actually doing something this time. That's a plus. Love these things. All right, yeah, that did what we wanted. Okay, so we have that. And then, let's see, we don't have the 2020 extrusion, or at least I'm not going to get one. And so they want us to tighten that up. They want us to do 20 there, which we think we're good. So now we can put it up at the other side. So we'll do that next. So pull this forward to us. Hopefully I can get in camera view. I don't know if I can stretch far enough, but hopefully we get in camera view. Yep, just making it. All right, so that's there. All right, let's see. This is in shot. We can put this in here, like so. We can squeeze that tight when the time comes. Okay, so that's in there, like it's supposed to be. And then we're going to tighten up those two screws next. So I think I can go to wide shot here. Take this one out. And this one. Oh, get my stretches in. All right, thread lock on this one. You're gonna make sure you put them back in the same hole. Just kidding. The machining is pretty dang decent on this, but it's not to that level. All right, I'm gonna stand up to do this. We're gonna squeeze this way, pull the whole thing together. Pushing down and everything too. Give it a good tweak. Okay. Maybe I went too tight. Maybe my Gorilla Grip was too much. That's exactly 20, so come on. Pop out of there, bud. Pop out. Come on. I swear this frame is fighting me every step of the way. All right, so it does seem to get a little bit tighter down. Oh, no, it's fine. I think it might be like a ½ millimeter off. I'll loosen this one up just a smidgen and put this in here. I'm just gonna retighten everything back up like that. Okay, good. I'm okay with this. All right, so we have that one done. What's next? Right here, fully tighten both mark. Yep, double check that this is 250 millimeters, same for all. So we want 250 millimeters down there. And let's look. So I'd say we're pretty dang close to that. And over here, again, pretty close. But let's use a square. This is how we'll know for sure because everything else should be square. I guess one tip I'll say about building frames in general for all printers is if you start off square and you continue to try to be square, you'll have better success in keeping your square. If you start off unsquare, you're building off of itself as you go. I mean, you're error correcting too, but you're pretty much building the printer onto itself. So if you have a square, if everything is square, if everything else here is square, that one needs to be square too. And basically just building it to square should make it exactly where I want for that distance, because if it's 250 here and everything's square, it'll wind up being 250 over there. It'd be difficult for it not to be. So fully tighten, mark, screw, set, secure. Now I also mentioned that they don't mention in the manual to use any thread locker. This is my KB3D blue Loctite. He buys it in bulk and puts it in these little ones. It's actually cheaper than buying the little ones from like Amazon. But yeah, I did ask on the Rat Rig Discord, which is not an official Discord by Rat Rig. They don't have one. But basically, it was agreed that Loctite's a good idea on the frame parts, even though it doesn't mention it in the manual anywheres. All right, so last part of this left side frame is putting on this this last extrusion. So I'm gonna grab this guy, try not to hit everything except for the lottery. Flip it around and place it like this. So we're working with what we want. Put this aside. Hopefully we don't lose balance there. And what we're looking for is a 475 millimeter, which is not that one. but is this one. I kind of cheated a little bit and had it kind of pre-staged. So there we go. And we're gonna do the same thing we did before with everything else. If it fits, doesn't fit this way, it'll fit this way. Put it in like that. A little part like this. And take this out. Put some thread locker on this as well. And this was gonna pretty much finish up this left side, and then we're gonna look at the right side, and I believe it's pretty much the same. So you know what that means? It means that I'm gonna spare you the grief of watching me do this twice and get thread locker everywhere. And hopefully speed through that one when it comes to it here in a moment. So we're gonna grab this all four at the same time. Give it the grip of death, or death grip. Like that. Confirmation, looks good. Everything looks tight. And this guy over here should be pretty close to where we want to be. All things being equal. Everything does look pretty damn decent. All right, so let's get this one out. Get a thread locker. I gotta set this thing up too before I go on to the right side, just to show the scale of this thing. I gotta be honest. After getting this thing here and actually seeing how big a 500 millimeter printer is, I probably could have made do with a 400. Just thinking. Maybe they should put a warning up on the website. I don't know what the warning would say exactly, but something. Okay. All right. Put this aside. Make sure it's on there tight. And let's see. Do not, again. Whew, they're really pushing that. Do not scratch the aluminum extrusions when assembling them, because then they'll have scratches on them, and they won't look so pretty. Let's see here. Fully tighten both mark screws. Fake extrusion connections are loose. Fully tighten screws. Take them out. They're not right. See assembly. Da da da. And that is, for all intents and purposes, one humongous side of a printer. And to put this to scale, I'm about 6 feet tall, and this is sitting on a normally sized bench, and it is taller than I am. Yeah, it's taller than I am. It's pretty huge. It's you know what? It's probably about the size of a poster, like that. So that's gonna be, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be huge. All right, I'm gonna put this one aside, and we're gonna speed through the next one. So hopefully I fast forward to it. So. All right, well, there we have it. We have part one and part two, I think. So we have a right and a left. We did the left one first, I believe. Yeah, we did the left one first. Let me look at my right one. just to make sure it's actually what I want. Let's see here. It's actually not that heavy. It's probably 10 pounds, but it's just odd weight, you know? All right, so the right one shows our mistake. I made a mistake. Failure. So, on my right one facing me, my holes are supposed to be over here, and I have them over here, so I have to fix that. Just to confirm, let's see here, that my left one is correct. My original one is correct, this one is not, so I gotta flip those around, so ready for some more hyper speed stuff going on right about now. The actual manual. So two subsystems mirror of each other, I agree. And just to be 100% sure of that, let's bring them both up on the bench at the same time. Should be a feat of engineering just to get them up here. So that's over there, it's over there, that's there, that's there. All right, I agree, I concur. All those groovy words that mean yes. All right. And assembly of the bottom frame. This is when things are going to get super tricky. Because I'm already out of room. All right, left-hand subassembly from step 17, which is the one on top, the first one we built. T-slot 3060 milled extrusion. Oh, okay. That's this guy. And line the holes using M8 screws, bottom screw, left side. So basically, the way that works out is something like that. So what I'm going to do is work with what I got in terms of space and all the other stuff. And we're going to basically put this guy, it's the bottom down here. We're going to go back to a wide shot because otherwise you're not going to see this. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to be mounting this down here into these two holes right here. So I'm going to monkey it here. I'm going to hold it with my feet and get these screws out. And these I probably should not be using a blue, but we are anyways. They are fine threaded, so, or relatively fine, so give them a decent slathering here. It's still going into aluminum, so that alone should be enough to kind of lock things into place a little bit. But get that one started. I'll get this one. Also started. Alright, what else does it say here about this? Insert MH capsule, carefully begin threading into the T-slot. Before fully tightening them, secure extrusions together. 500 quick connectors. So we're not going to tighten these up all the way, but we're going to find the right tool for the job. This is not M5. What is that? That must be an M6 or a 6x. Just to grab that in a minute. Okay, so insert. We have the cap screws. Carefully begin threading into the T-slot screw. Before fully tightening them, secure together. 2 T-slot extrusions. All right, so we're basically going to be looking for two 540. So 540 would be so loud. 540 would be 740. So these guys. Wait, 2 of them? Yeah, 2 like that. 2 of them. And I think for a second, we're gonna get rid of that right there with the kickstand. And we're gonna slot these in with those heads facing outwards. That makes sense. So that one there. And this one here. Okay. Insert that. Quick connector, step stairs, screw to each side. So let me make sure. Let's see, we got that right like that. All right, so side of screws, make sure screws facing outwards. Yep, not scratch aluminum. Funny. Place assembly on a flat surface. Yes. We're just gonna make sure front extrusion is fully tighten the mark set screw on the front. So on the front. So the front. This is the front. All right. So this guy over here is the front. So they want that one tightened up first. All right, so let's do 2 things. Let's put this in an angle so I can actually work with it. Try to get this in a position where I can actually work on it. That's probably the most difficult thing about this build is the sheer size. All right, so we want that there. Should be good. Draw that in. And then we'll use this. I can't really do that. That looks good there as well. All right, so we have the front fully tightened the mark set screw. Make sure the rear extrusion is flush with the side assembly. Fully tighten the mark set screw for that one. So now we're gonna do the rear. All right, it's flat, yep. All right, support frame assembly to ensure it does not fall over. It's a good idea. Okay, so now we're putting the other side on. But we're still not tightening those cap head screws, so. Crazy. Ugh. All right. All right. So now I got to do this sort of thing, right? don't fall. Don't fall. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. Okay. And I don't think the actual order of front to rear, side to side, and all that stuff matters all that much really. So we're going to hang on for our dear lives here, first of all. Just trying to make sure it doesn't twist. Like that actually is twisted a little bit. I can actually feel that release when it came undone. Okay. Okay, that's that one. That's good. Good, good, good. All right, and over to the other side of the room now. Go from East Coast to West Coast here. Splitting time zones. Figure out, no, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Something is up. Oh, and I hate doing this. What is going on here? I don't see anything wrong with this thing. I don't see anything wrong with it. And why would it be the last one? I mean, literally, why would it be the last one? Or last one for this, not the actual last one. Okay. It needed some persuasion. All right, so let's loosen it up. Get everything where it needs to be. Yep, right there. Good there. Okay. Finally. Finally. All right. And make sure you do not scratch the aluminum extrusions when assembling them, because can't say that enough. You know, where they put all those, they could have put additional notes in here about different printers and some of the things that we found in the earlier video. But yeah, fill it up with that instead. All right, step 10, sir. All right, so we're gonna do these M8 screws now on this side. So M8 screws. On this side. Okay, we'll make sure that's nice and flat. See, one half of me wishes I had a bigger bench because this thing is huge, but the other half of me tells me that if I did, I may have some troubles in terms of like running over the edge here for some of this stuff. I am not putting a square on this because it's using two screws that are pretty much stuck wherever they are. There's no way for it to slide around unless they're not in the right spots to begin with, and if that's the case, then I am SOL. There we go. All right. Crazy stuff here in the basement. All right. Now that we've constructed a good portion of my apartment that I'm probably going to need when the wife sees how big my printer is, we move on. And we got to get ourselves situated. We need the rear and the front, with the rear facing towards me, which is 180 degrees from where I am right now. Fun. All right. Turn around. Every now and then I build a printer that's too big in my basement. All right, there we go. Rear. All right. It's where we want to be. So now, look, I've been framed. We're going to jump right into, I think, what is one of the last parts here of building this primary, or the mass of the frame, which is right in the rear. So what happens here is we wind up looking at a, let's see, a 440 millimeter, which, let's see here, 440, would that change? Yes, that should be 640 on this printer. 640, got that. 640. Yeah, 640 on that one. And then we also need a 540, which would be a 740 on this one. So 740, yes, 740 on that one. Okay. Remember, don't scratch these. The most important thing in all the directions. So says the directions. So let's see here. T-pins, milled extrusions, da-da-da-da. Do not scratch aluminum. After every single one of these, do not scratch aluminum. All right, so this red one is going to go in near center. And we're going to be flagging it that way, so we're going to go that. Okay, and insert extrusion on its side, like so. And quickly connected it facing outwards. Let's see, aligned with the side extrusion slots. What? Insert the extrusion into the side assemblies, making sure the quick connector T-nut pins are aligned with the side extrusion slots, yeah. And the quick connector facing outwards. That will only happen once we twist it. Slide extrusion downwards, making quick connector pin. It fits inside extrusion slot. Yep, we did that. Carefully rotate the marked extrusion without scratching. Let's see here. Rotate. Yes, like this. Yep, it caught. Install frame jig onto assembly as shown, which is right here, as shown. So let's do that. It's gonna be hard to show on camera, but you'll see the back side of it, right? So we're gonna do this. Yep. All right. Shown face side outwards. Look at extrusion slots. Make sure they're both yes. Sure, yes. Insert gap. Measure the marked gap on both sides. They should equal to 255. 255. But should they? No. We're adding 200 each. All right. Oh, right here. Yeah, it says right here. Gap should be 355 with a 500. So at least they mentioned it, right? I mean, they get all these things telling you not to scratch the frame. At least they could do is give you the actual important stuff too. Okay, so 355. Where do they want us to measure that to? Because now we have this green goblin here. It's kind of difficult to do that. Let's do this. 355 is almost exactly 14 inches. It's like a half a millimeter less than 14 inches. 355, I think we're good there. 355 this way. Yep. All right, 355, and then fully tighten the marked set screw to secure the extrusions together. Okay, so first, we want to take this thing out. Which we probably should have done first, because they don't say anything about using Loctite. Talk a lot about not scratching the frame, but the actual staying of the frame together is up to you. Okay, some Loctite. And I gotta say, the forces against these are actually opposing to a certain extent. You gotta dodge back and forth here. Because there's actually no direct pressure against the screw in a direction that would make the screw unscrew itself. But to the same notion, if this thing's printing quickly and vibrating, those vibrations could go in just about any direction. So this is just a little extra maybe. All right, so like that. And then I want to remeasure this because it moved all over the place. Again, we're going for 355. And I would say right here would be a good place that they could have done a quality of life improvement by actually marking the frame for dead center, or even better, where the extrusion is. I personally wouldn't mind a couple little marks, even if they were scratches on the frame, just to make sure we get everything dead nuts on. But that's me. I'm not everybody. Let's see here. It feels... Nope, it isn't. Just say it feels slightly twisted. All right, full tightness on that. Good. All right, so now we secure extrusions together. Extrusion connection is loose after fully tightening. The same note of that. Basically, you don't have it together right if it does that. And then we have the other part here, which is up top. And we want to just, the big thing is to make sure that our set screws are facing towards me, which is outwards on the printer when we do this. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to have to stand up to do this. There. Stand right up there. Right out of camera. And we're going to drop this down. Wait a second. When did they tell us to put the other one in? Put that down. Carefully mark extrusion 90 degrees. Oh, now they have us turn it 90 degrees. Carefully rotate. What the heck? All right. Not going to complain. Just going to do. So basically, I'm going to have to rotate this again because obviously we got to rotate it so it gets into that extrusion as well they just put on. So I'll take fault on that. I'll take blame on that. That was me. I wouldn't say I didn't read the directions, but I would say that I was not paying attention. All right, and this one doesn't want to seem to twist very well, so maybe we need to loosen it up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, make sure we don't scratch the frame. All right, and 355 again here. Somehow it likes to move every time. 355 and 355 and then not 55 up here yet. 355. Lateral pressure on this piece. It should align properly and it should be at the right distance, which it is. So now we're going to tighten this one down. And that should close that top piece down on it. There we go. And then what they say here, we did that. Rotate, yes, good. Gap both sides, yes. Top. All right, so top. Move the jig from this to this position, we did that. Jig install completely flush with extrusion, yes, nice and flush, we're good there. Let's see, mark both sides so they should equal to, which we agree, we already did that. Fully tighten the mark set screw. Do not tighten either of the mark set screws at this point. They will be secured in the following step. Okay. Extrusion connections. Okay, that again. And that's it. That's where we land with this whole thing. So let me flip this thing around just to give a full view of what we have here. And I'm not going to grab that, even though I could. You know what, these aren't tightened down, but let's just loosely tighten them down. Just a little bit. Loosely tighten these things down. Like that. All right. And we're gonna see if we can spin this around so we can look at the handiwork done. And I hope the mass of this thing and just the magnitude of it kind of sinks in. So there's a side view of what we have so far for the printer. This is the front, and this is the rear. And now you're looking at from the rear end. And what we last did was put this piece in right here, which is another support piece on this frame. And that pretty much brings us to the point where we have 2 extrusions left. And we have a frame according to directions that are pretty much built, because our next step is to work on stepper motor plates. So without any further dragging on to this video, I want to thank you for watching. I want to see you in the next video, and I really appreciate the comments, so please leave them below. If you haven't yet watched any of the other videos for this build series, please go back and do that. Give me a like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Yeah. I'll see you next video. See you later.